Thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. First, I want to start off with a disclaimer / apologies. I'm sorry if you can hear that annoying buzzing sound that I thought I'd gotten rid of, but apparently it is back. And also, if you can hear my heat, it is about 3 degrees out today, so heck yeah, I'm running the heat very high. Anyway, if any of those sounds are picked up by my mic and I am not able to edit them completely out, I apologize. Let's just get right into today's video. So I have saved a lot of videos throughout the past few months for reacting purposes, and I just haven't had time to get to all of them. So today I am trying to get through a lot of them and make videos reacting to them. The more I recover from my eating disorder, which I am proud to say I have made leaps and bounds, strides that I never thought were possible for me, and somehow I have woken up and I am here. I'm at this point and I never thought I'd be here, and hopefully I can compile a really well organized and concise video talking about it all, because I want to put a lot of effort into that, because it's important. Because I think something that gets overlooked in recovery is the realizations that you come to, and then one day you're like, I'm here, I've arrived, and it's pretty amazing, and I definitely want to talk about that. One of the things that has become abundantly clear through my recovery is that the body positive movement doesn't want me. We talk about the body positive movement as though it's like a collective of people, which it is. It's a movement. Duh. We know definitions to words. So yes, they are a collective of people. They're not like a specific group of people that like come together into these meetings and plot against the thins. That apparently I fall into that category. Never thought I'd be able to say that, but I say that with a smirk because that is ridiculous. Why are we categorizing people and labeling them in such a way? So basically, body positivity does not want people like me. Fine, dandy. You don't want me, I don't want you. I should not be required to be positive about my body 100% of the time, because guess what? I'm not. And that is ridiculous to expect that of people. Since the body positivity movement has been co-opted, taken over, invaded by the fat acceptance movement, the fat acceptance movement definitely does not want me around. I have become hyper aware of the hypocrisy and ridiculousness that is the fat acceptance movement. Not people individually, not specific people, nothing like that, just the movement itself and the rhetoric they spew and the things and the words that come out of the activists' mouths. So today I am reacting to I believe it is a compilation of TikToks, and we're gonna have some fun.
The reason why people call things cringy is because they are so devastated that they can't express that level of vulnerability, that you're just like letting yourself be so deeply earnest about like whatever joke you're making or whatever feeling that you're expressing, and by them saying that it's cringy, they know that they're hitting you in a vulnerable place.
When I cringe at something, I myself, like me, I am not a factor. I'm not thinking about myself in this scenario. I'm not thinking about myself saying the cringy thing. I'm not thinking about myself acting that way. I am not a factor in me watching that video. Does that make sense? Cringing is just a snap reaction. It's the initial reaction that you can't completely control. Sometimes it's embarrassment on behalf of the person is cringe. It's, this makes me so uncomfortable, I'm cringing. But that uncomfortability, that being uncomfortable or that being embarrassed has nothing to do with me, because I am not a factor in it. I am simply a viewer. I become a hollow shell, a nothingness, just cringing at what I'm watching.
And this is the way that people get, like, take themselves out of the revolution, right? Because you have to have earnestness and imagination in order to be revolutionary.
You can be those things without being cringy. It is possible. It doesn't take imagination to be cringy, to be embarrassing. Like, vulnerability has nothing to do with it. You can be vulnerable without being cringy. You can share things, you can express things, you can express how you're feeling or how something makes you feel without being cringy, because I think a lot of where the cringe comes from is the sense of this is not genuine. We are getting the sense that your vulnerability is a act. It is a exaggerated form of what you're actually feeling. And that's where the cringe comes from. I liked her outfit. When she turned, I was not expecting the brown hair in the back. For some reason, I thought, I don't really know what was happening with her hair, and that threw me off. So that was just a person dancing, and I liked the outfit.
Promoting obesity is what it takes to make other fat people feel hot. Obviously, I'm gonna do that. So yes, I am promoting obesity.
So this video kind of contradicts everything the fat acceptance movement has said about the concept of promoting obesity, because they're like, we're not promoting anything, we're just existing. Well, here is an active member of your movement contradicting that very stance, and it makes you all look bad. Makes you all look like hypocrites.
I don't know how many goddamn times I'm gonna have to say this, but skinny does not mean pretty and fat does not mean ugly. So when I say I'm fat, your response should not be, no, you're beautiful. I know I'm beautiful. I'm fat and I'm beautiful. Alright? I can be both. Thank you very much.
I agree, yes. Body shape has nothing to do with beauty. Also, I would say that facial appearance doesn't have to have anything to do with beauty either.
You can stop hating the fat on your body. All you have to do is stop hating fat people.
I don't hate fat people, and when I hated the fat on my body, I still did not hate fat people. Fat people existing did not contribute to my hatred of the fat on my body. That is not how it works.
We were taught this. This is not a natural thing. Look at art. We have known fat bodies are beautiful throughout all time. It is just very recently we have been taught fat is not beautiful because it serves the interests of racism, ableism, and capitalism.
We're talking about ancient artwork. The more weight you had on your body, it was actually a status thing. So it actually was, kind of to do with not necessarily capitalism, because at those times capitalism wasn't really what it is today either. But the more fat you had, the more weight you had on your body signified that you were rich, that you were elite. It was elitism. It was actually just to glorify the elite.
We were taught to think these things, so we can teach ourselves to think something else.
No, I wasn't taught this by anyone, because I wasn't taught this. I wasn't taught to hate fat people. I guess in a way I was taught to hate the fat on my body, but again, fat people existing had nothing to do with it. When I was bullied for being fat, or I was told I need to lose weight, it wasn't in comparison to other fat people. It was simply me compared to myself, compared to not fat me.
One way I'm doing it is that I follow a lot of fat creators. And when they come up on my For You page, I give them a heart. And I tell myself, they are beautiful. This is what beauty looks like. Because first of all, it's true. Flesh is sexy. Bodies are beautiful. The diversity of human experience is beautiful.
So you like people's content no matter what, based on the creator? What if they're saying really horrible things? What if they're doing really horrible things, but they're fat, so you like them? And why do I have to say this person's beautiful? Because now I'm objectifying them. I'm saying my entertainment is not solely based, but it's primarily based on your physical appearance, and I'm reminding myself of how beautiful you are. That's weird. No offense to anyone, any creator that I watch, I'm not really looking at your physical appearance, kind of just looking at what you're doing, the content you create. So sorry if I haven't consciously considered the beauty of every content creator that crosses my path on social media. Sorry about that, my bad.
Fat shit thin people will never understand. Part 2. I swear, whenever I go to visit my doctor, there's these 2 chairs in the room, and I always sit in the one with no arms. But I swear to God, it's always these same 2 chairs. I'm afraid of this one. This one is ouchie no-no. I sit in this one. This one's okay. Walking into a waiting room and it looks like this. Yeah, I'ma just stand. I'm sorry, I can't take a seat. I'ma just stand.
Things thin people have to deal with that fat people will never understand. Sitting on wooden bar stools, sitting on metal bar stools, sitting on any uncushioned bar stool, sitting on a park bench, sitting on those obnoxious like wire chairs, sitting on anything made out of metal. So, in other words, chairs are painful and we can all relate.
When you pull up to the kickback and the only chair they had for you to sit in is this.
Oh no, I can relate. Those are really uncomfortable. I mean, I know it's like uncomfortable for different reasons between she and I, but that chair, yes, uncomfortable.
A lot of fat men are extremely fat phobic, to the point where it's literally repulsive. The amount of times I've heard a fat guy call a fat girl a big bitch like he is not one is astronomical to me. Not to mention the fact that their bodies are generally more accepted in society than fat women's are.
It's hard for me to completely grasp this concept because I can only speak from my own experience and how my mind works. And when I interact with people, their body size, their body shape, how they look does not play a factor in how I treat them, how I interact with them, how I get along with them. And I've never met anyone who is like to their face fat phobic. And I mean, people are like, they shouldn't talk bad about them behind their back. Yeah, but they're going to. Just like people talk bad about me behind my back. Don't really care. Accepting the fat of of a person's body doesn't register. Like, I don't meet a fat person and I'm like, I accept you and you're fat. That's just weird. What I understand of fat acceptance and acceptance in general, men and women of the larger body variety are accepted equally, the same, as in they are both seen as unhealthy.
Fat people deserve basic respect. Breathe if you agree. If you're not breathing right now, keep it that way.
There are people on YouTube that I may or may not react to on the regular who, from the things they say, sounds like they don't think fat people should exist, so they suck. Bouncing off my last thing I said was, people deserve respect. Their body shape does not play a factor in my mind in whether they deserve respect.
If you're fat, stay. If you're a girl, stay. If you're a gay, stay. If you're gay, stay. If you're bi, stay. Everyone else is probably gone by now. Okay.
Wait, do I have to be all of those things? Because, okay, so I guess I'm not fat, but I'm some of the other things.
So cute. These pants are kind of big, but... Wait. Look how cute my vest is.
I hate those vests, so you ruined it. So here's the thing. I'm actually jealous of this girl, and I'm going to tell you why. I love the look of like those kind of baggy jogger pants. I feel like that's what those are called. And I might have made that up. But I love that look and I love how you can style them. And I have a pair. But my issue is that I don't like things squeezing my tummy. They squeeze my tummy with the drawstring. So I'm jealous of people who can confidently wear those pants. So I'm jealous of her.
Imagine it's cold outside, right? Then you have to go get the snow off of your car.
Oh, no. You're gonna need a lot more than that to clear the snow off my car, my dear. Did I mention it's 3 degrees outside and there's like 60 miles per hour winds? Like, you're gonna need a lot more than that.
If you're a fat person who is not trying to lose weight, I love you. Keep it up. I know it's hard and people suck, but I love you.
What people need to understand about me is that, like, I have the way I see the world. I put myself in everybody's shoes and I try to understand your point of view. That might help change aspects of how I view the world, or it doesn't. And I'm going to continue to see the world the way I see the world while simultaneously putting myself in everyone's shoes and trying to understand, the human condition. So it's hard for me to understand that there are people who think that everyone who's, a certain weight should be on a diet. I mean, I know that's a thing. I mean, I've seen it. But I just don't, my brain for myself does not know how to wrap and comprehend that. If you want to be on a diet, be on a diet. If you don't. Imagine if someone was making a video and was like, to all the Anna victims who aren't in recovery, I love you, keep it up. Like,
I made a video earlier about how long-term weight loss is pretty much impossible to achieve.
Pretty much impossible. So it is possible, is what you're saying.
And that video is gaining traction, which leads me to assume that there's going to be some not great comments on there pretty soon. But there's already some that I'm not loving. So I'm going to take this moment to just like set in stone right here, right now. I don't want weight loss advice. I don't want it in my comments. I don't want it directed at me or anyone else for that matter. There are plenty of other places to get that kind of information. I don't want it here. I need to protect my own health and my own sanity on this app. I do not want diet advice. I do not need diet advice. I don't want to lose weight. I don't need to lose weight.
Then turn off your comments.
Someone else do this and wanted to give it a try. This is what 5'6" and 235 pounds looks like. Your turn.
Again, I'm jealous because I do not have the confidence to wear something like this, and I wish I did, and I'm jealous of her confidence. Her body does not play a factor in it. She's confident in an outfit that I wish I could wear, and I am jealous. I am jealous of this girl. Also, I'm jealous of her hair.
Here's your reminder that fat phobia is rooted in racism. As always, if you haven't read this book, go do that. The main thing to understand is that for the last 300-ish years, white folks have been marketing fatness as a black trait. And this is regardless of—
They have? This was the first time I've heard this. I thought fat was a trait of fat people.
Of whether or not black people individually were actually fat. That was irrelevant. The message they spread was that black women specifically were ravenous and uncontrollable, and these barbaric traits made them fat.
Never heard this before, but thank you for letting me know things that I was supposedly taught at some point in my life.
On the flip side, thinness was marketed as a white trait. Again, regardless of whether or not individual white people were actually thin, that was irrelevant.
The city that I grew up in is not majority white. And all the black people that I saw on a daily basis were relatively thin. Yeah, there were some large people, but there were also large white people too that I'd see like other places. I actually always attributed thinness, like I always expected black people to be thin. I don't know. Maybe we grew up in different places.
The idea was that white women specifically were refined and restrained, and this led them to having delicate, thin bodies.
Delicate, refined bodies just sounds like southern white shit. If that's all you hear day in and day out, you should probably change your environment. Probably go somewhere else that you're not hearing all that. You do have control either. Yeah, it's annoying to like you be the bigger person. I know it's annoying to like, you're like, why should I have to leave? They should just change how they think. Well, that's going to take a lot longer than you just changing your environment.
I am not a huge fan of cancel culture because I am a huge supporter of calling in conversation rather.
I would very much like to take you at those words and to take a moment to call in conversation with you specifically. I frequently and consistently have enjoyed your content because much of your content is built to be inclusive and to always speak in support of fatter bodies. However, your video about Abercrombie & Fitch missed the mark. You overstepped, and you attempted to align yourself with a source of oppression that you have never experienced. Because you 10 years ago was a thin person, and you now are still a thin person. You have the body of a normal adult woman with a little bit of thickness but a flat stomach, a body where having and showing off your cellulite is appropriate and acceptable, not a body that is systematically oppressed because you're fat, and not a body that is systematically oppressed by brands like Abercrombie & Fitch and have been for decades. So if you want to partner with Abercrombie & Fitch and have a mid-sized moment, do that. But respectfully take a seat about talking about plus-size bodies and fat bodies.
Abercrombie & Fitch definitely made me hate my body, that is for sure. As a preteen, that, yes. Definitely got judged by the workers when I'd go in there, so I stopped going in there. That's that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, you can give it a thumbs down. That is cool too. I do not mind. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit the notification bell to stay notified of all future uploads. If you have any comments, questions, video suggestions, anything at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. Be sure to go follow me over on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye!